Welcome to What Book Is It Wednesday? Chapter 1. I dreamed our robot came alive and went berserk, I told Gates Warwas. We were walking home from school, and, of course, we were talking about robotics, because we are obsessed. A yellow school bus rolled by, and some kids shouted at us from the windows. I waved at them, but I didn't bother to see who they were. I was busy telling Gates about my dream. My name is Livy Jones. I'm 12, and I have a very real, very exciting dreams, and in the morning, I remember every single one of them. I think it's good to tell people your dreams because they can help you figure out what they mean. So I told Gates my dream. The robot ran away, and I chased after it, but it was too fast for me. I ran to a big parking lot, and it began picking up cars. It lifted them high in the air and then smashed them to the pavement. Gates had a thoughtful look on his face. Of course, he always has a thoughtful look on his face. That's Gates' thing. He's quiet, and he's thoughtful. His dark eyes gazed straight ahead, and he kept nodding thoughtfully as he listened to me. The robot smashed one car after another. It was a very noisy dream, I said. I think, all the crashing and smashing is what woke me. I sat straight up in bed, and I was shaking. The dream was so real. We crossed the street. Gates continued to look thoughtful. So, what do you think it means? I said. He scratched his head. He has curly black hair that pops straight up. He can't keep it down. It's like it's alive. We cut through the Murphys' backyard. They probably wouldn't like our shortcut through their yard every afternoon, but they're never home. My house is 3 houses down. I think it means we shouldn't have made our robot look so human, Gates says finally. Huh? What do you mean? Everyone else is building robots that look like machines, he continued, but we built ours to look like a girl, and I think maybe that's what's freaking you out. We built a girl. It's too real. But I love Francine, I said. Gates rolled his eyes. We can't call a robot Francine. No way. Why not? Because you can't. You just can't have a robot named Francine. I gave him a playful shove. She's my idea, and I get to name her. No way, Livy, Gates whined. Francine the robot, it's too embarrassing. He crossed his arms in front of his chest. I'm going to talk to Coach Teague about it. Seriously. Harrison Teague is the coach of our robotics team. He is a good guy. And he keeps us psyched. He's keeping us pumped up and eager to beat Swanson Academy in the Springdale Robotics meet this year. Swanson Academy is where all the rich kids go. They're our rival enemy school. In football, in basketball, in everything. Teague doesn't know that much about robotics. He admits it himself. I mean, he's the girls' basketball coach, and the school gave him the robotics team to coach in his spare time. They sort of forced it on him. I stopped outside my family's garage. I lowered my backpack to the driveway. Listen, Gates, we can't argue about the robot's name now. We are so close to finishing her. We just have a few tweaks to make on the programming. This is no time to fight. He shrugged. You're right. I think she's ready for us to test some of her skills this afternoon. He pumped a fist above his head. This is exciting, Livy. It was exciting. Gates and I had been building the robot in my garage for months. Programming her memory module took weeks and weeks, and now we were finally about to see what she could do. My family has a white shingled 2-car garage, but my parents never put their cars in it. They always parked them in the driveway. That gave Gates and me the perfect workshop to build Francine. I bent down and grabbed the door on the left. Gates helped me, and we both pushed the door up. Let's see what we have here, Gates said, rubbing his hands together like a mad scientist in a horror movie. How is our little experiment? We both stopped. We both stared. We both uttered startled cries. The robot, I murmured. She's gone. Chapter 2. What was the first thing I thought of? My dream, of course. Once again, I saw the robot running down the street, picking up cars, smashing them on the pavement. Is that what happened here? Did my dream come true? Did Francine run away? Of course not. She couldn't walk very quickly or very far, and she definitely wasn't programmed to open the garage door and then close it again. Gates and I stood in the center of the garage, staring at the spot where the robot should have been. Have we been robbed? Gates said finally. His voice came out tiny and a little bit shaky. I opened my mouth to reply, but stopped when I heard laughter. Whoa! I spun around to the open door. Gates sighed. I recognized that laugh. So did I. We both dove out of the garage and saw Chaz Fremont on the patio. He stood there laughing his hee-haw donkey laugh with one arm around Francine. Yes, he had Francine. He had been hiding behind the garage waiting for us, waiting to give Gates and me a little scare, because Chaz loves to torture us and torment us and tease us and bully us and give us a hard time. He's not our favorite dude. Also, I have to mention this. Chaz doesn't go to Springdale Middle School like Gates and me. He goes to Swanson Academy. And I have to tell you one more thing about Chaz, who has short, spiky red hair and freckles on his big round face and tiny blue eyes that look like bird's eyes, and is big and hulky and works out a lot. He's the captain of the Swanson Academy robotics team, which beats us at the meet every year because Chaz is a genius robot builder. I don't like him, but I have to say that to be fair. What are you doing with Francine? I demanded. Chaz's mouth dropped open. Francine? You can't call a robot Francine. I think you should call it Livy too, because it looks just like you, except a lot cuter. Ha ha. You're not funny, I said. Give us back our robot. Sure, you can have it. He slid his arm off Francine's shoulders and took a few steps back. I was just pulling your chain. I forgot. You don't have a sense of humor. You're about as funny as pig vomit, Gates said. Oh, good one, Chaz replied. Did you just make that up? Gates blushed. He blushes easily, and Chaz always knows how to make him blush. Gates and I lifted our robot off the patio stones and began carrying her into the garage. She weighed a ton. We used molded sheet metal for the body, and the computer that held all the memory modules was also heavy. Chaz followed us, cracking his knuckles in front of him as he walked, one of his gross habits. What does it do? He asked. Wave bye-bye, or was that too hard for you to program? Why would we tell you? I shot back. You're the enemy, remember? I'm the frenemy, Chaz said. Remember, robotics is all about cooperation. That's a word some robotics coach made up somewhere. A combination of cooperation and competition. It means we cooperate and compete at the same time. Robotics is the most friendly competition. That's what Coach T keeps reminding us all the time. Chaz picked up a pair of hedge clippers from a shelf and pretended to cut Francine's head off. Your robot is so totally old school, he said. Like an old sci-fi movie. Old school enough to beat your robot, Gates told him. I don't think so, Chaz replied. At Swanson, we're all building sports robots this year. I built a basketball robot. It can toss up three-point shots on any court without missing a single one. He pretended to fire off a jump shot. How can you beat that? No one can. They should just cancel the contest and give me the trophy. At least you don't brag a lot, Gates said. And then I burst out and told Chaz what our robot could do. I don't know why I did it. It was supposed to be a secret, but since he was standing there bragging about his robot, I decided I should brag about Francine. On the Springdale team, we're all building construction robots, I said. We programmed Francine to construct an omelet. Chaz laughed. Ha ha, does she also lay eggs? Want to try her? I said. We'll show you what she can do. She's a genius with her hands. You won't be laughing. You'll be home programming your robot to clap for ours. Gates patted me on the shoulder. Nice one, Livy. But we haven't really finished her yet, remember? Show me something, Chaz insisted. Go ahead. Show me what she can do. I bet she can't even crack an egg. Of course she can crack an egg, I said. She can crack a dozen eggs perfectly. I should have just shut up, but Chaz always puts me in a state. And that's how we ended up with Francine in the kitchen. No one was home. My mom was still at work at her science lab. I pulled out a large bowl and filled it with eggs from the fridge. We carried the bowl to the table. Gates activated the robot and the remote control. Then we attached the metal squeezer hands onto the robot's arms. Chaz hee-hawed. No way, dudes. No way this robot will pick up an egg and crack it, then pick up another egg and crack it. You don't have the skills. We're talking major fail here. We're talking major victory over you, I said. I nodded to Gates. He flicked the power switch and pushed some buttons on the remote to get Francine moving. The robot lowered her head, then raised it. That was the signal that she was powered up and ready. The three of us huddled around it, our eyes on the robot hand as the arm slowly slid up, then slowly lowered itself. The squeezer claw moved in and out as if practicing. The arm moved slowly down, slowly, and the robot claw grabbed Chaz's hand and clamped shut on it hard. Hey! He let out a startled cry. Get it off me! I saw the metal prongs of the hand tighten, pressing into Chaz's skin. Ow! A howl of pain escaped his throat. Ow! My hand, it's breaking my hand! I turned to Gates. We have to stop it! Gates' eyes were bulging. His mouth hung open. Frozen in horror, we both watched as the metal prongs dug deeper into Chaz's hand. Chaz let out another scream of pain, and then I shuddered and shut my eyes when I heard a loud, sick crack.